So let's start here. I'm pushing open the key fob here with the blue button, and you see that the gate's opening. Now I have the gate set to where when it opens it will stay open until you press the button again. There is the option of having it automatically closed, but for my particular purposes it's better for us to leave the gate open. The first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to become very well acquainted with this manual that comes with it. And I'm trying to get out of the sunlight, but as you see, this is the VIPER JS-3500 series. This is a pretty good instruction manual, all in all. But like all instruction manuals for everything that I've ever tried to put together, it's written by people that think that the user has some kind of ESP. So there are some areas in it that I felt like could have been explained a little bit better. One of the things that I did have to do, and something that you're going to have to do when you do yours, is the arms, or as they call them, actuators. And this is your VIPER actuator here. Now, you're going to need something sturdy somewhere in the middle. I don't think, from my experience here, that it really matters where you put it. I put it a little bit lower just because it looked better from the exterior. This is a piece of heavy-duty metal that I also bought and painted to match the rest. And as you can see, I bolted it here, and that gives it a little bit of strength, and it's also what you need to hook up your actuator to, because this is really where the pressure is being applied. The actuators, you have a master, which will be over there near to the control box, and a slave unit. Now, luckily, years back when I paved our driveway, I had the forethought to install a conduit underground here before I actually poured the driveway. So I had a 1-inch PVC conduit running underneath. Let me just add to, I was able to run the wiring from the control panel, and here's the control panel here. This is the master side, and my wire runs from here underground over to the other side. I also took this opportunity to put lights up, as you see, and they're all run from the same electrical situation. This is hooked into the battery charger, and really what I've discovered in doing this, the whole unit actually runs off of the battery. So every time you open and close the gate, it's running off of the 12-volt battery that came included. It is not running directly off of your electricity. What the electricity is doing is a trickle charger that is slowly keeping this battery recharged. So that was a factor. I mentioned that because with these lights also running off the same power source, I was afraid that that would affect the operation of the gate in some form or fashion with a different fluctuation of electricity, but it does not, because all of that's running off of the battery there. This is the receiver for your wireless transmission. I've got it out right now because I've been adjusting it, and it fits up in here like this in this little compartment, so when I actually close the cover, it's not hanging down like this. Now, like I said with the instructions, and I'll see if I can get a good picture of this for you, this is going to be your key panel, and it's pretty easy to work with, but there's some tips that I do have for you here that they don't mention. And one of those is some specialized tools that you're going to need. Now, these little hexagonal wrenches, see if I can get a picture of this, the little hex wrenches, probably if you're any kind of a handyman, you've got a bunch of these in your toolbox somewhere, but these actually come with the unit, the right size, so you're not looking for them. And what these do is these take this cap off right here. Okay, this is where you're going to take this cap off on both of the two actuators, and that's where you adjust the opening and closing of these arms when you're actually putting them on. And I'll show you a little bit about that later. So this comes with the unit. What you're going to need to go find, though, if you don't have them already, are some very small screwdrivers, and they don't mention those. You can buy these at any Radio Shack or Best Buys or something like that. It's just the real small tool sets, screwdrivers with a very small blade. And you're going to need the Phillips head for opening and closing the back of your key fob. Okay, you see on the back of the key fob there, you've got a really small screw. That's a Phillips head, and you're going to need that to open and close that. You open and close this to set your code that you're going to have so that everybody that owns one of these can open and close your gate. The other one you're going to need is the very small flathead blade right here. You're going to need a very, very small, thin flathead screwdriver, and what you're going to need this for is several things. Okay, you have a series of wires here that you're going to need to hook in depending on how your gate operates, and they have different options, and the instructions are very good about this. Now, what I wasn't sure of at first was how to put the wires in here, and once I got to playing with it, I realized, as you can see, what you do is you need this very small blade, and you unscrew this screw at the top, and when you do, it opens up this gap here, and then you're able to stick your wire straight in there, and then you're able to screw it down. So that was one of the little challenges. The other thing you're going to need this screwdriver for is these four right here. You see them? They're blue with yellow in the center, and these actually turn. Okay, there's a very small arrow on one of the four pieces, so these turn left and right, and you use these for setting your sensitivity for your current. You set it, if you're going to have an automatic open and close, you use those to set your delay timer here. You use it to set the sensitivity on the gate has an automatic stop, so that if it hits something, it'll stop and not completely crush it. So you're going to need this little bitty screwdriver, and that does not come with the kit. So go out and get you one of those before you get started. Now, really, probably the most difficult thing I found in doing this operation was setting these actuators and coordinating the little cam units that are inside here with this delay timer and this current sensitivity so that they opened and closed properly. And this gets back to what I was saying earlier, where now that you know a little bit more about it, you can kind of see how my driveway curves. Therefore, even though my posts are actually straight across here, I wanted it to look straight across. See, from here straight across, I'm fine. And from out here, when you're driving in, it looks right. Okay, but actually the driveway curves to the left, and that's why I wanted both of the gates to open up to the edge of the driveway, which you see they do. And that's where I really ran into a lot, not problems so much as time consuming, trying to adjust these actuators along with the sensitivity so that they would do that. The other thing that I thought was kind of unnecessary for my particular purposes, but I guess under certain circumstances it may be good for, I'm sure there's a purpose for it. I just never did find out what it would be for me. It made it a little harder on me. Is that this one right here adjusts the delay between the arms so that one, in other words, if you have it on the minimum, this left gate or the master gate will open all the way or any part of the way.